Hi everyone, welcome to Osaka Japan. This is Morita. I'm from Japan. I've been in Japan for many years. I'm 100% Japanese. In this channel, I will introduce various kinds of Japanese culture. I'm a guide I will lead you to better understanding of Japan. Okay, let's get started. Today's topic is Japanese castle. Japanese castle, called shiro, are fortresses constructed primarily of wood and stone. They remain in various places in Japan and have historical values now. But for what reason were they made? How was the castle's layout, interior and exterior? Which Japanese castle is famous and popular? How did they influence Japanese society? Today, I'm going to answer these questions. The Azuchi-Momoyama period of Japan's 16th century was after the age of castles. At this time, castles were built all over Japan. Castles were located in each city. Some of them still remain today. During the Warring State period, when Japanese warriors were active, there was an unspoken rule that if a castle tower was attacked, that castle was defeated. Therefore, castles were fortified with guards and defenses in case the enemy attacked. For defense, there were moats, stone walls, and turrets. From high places such as the turrets, the enemy could be detected and attacked with bows and arrows and guns. Western castles are built of stone, but Japanese castles are built of wood. This is likely due to the nature of stone in Japan, which is difficult to keep cleanly, and the dangers posed by stone constructions due to frequent earthquakes. The top part, called Tenshikaku, was the most important part of the castle and a symbol of power. Oda Nobunaga, who overthrew the Muromachi shogunate and unified the country, built the first castle tower at the top of Azuchi-Momoyama Castle. It is the most prominent part of the castle. During the Warring State period, Feudal lords built castles all over Japan, and it is said that there were more than 2,500 of them. In medieval Japan in the 16th century, the warring lords were engaged in fierce battle with each other. It was also a game in which victory was won by destroying the castle tower. In other words, the key point for the defenders was how to keep their troops away from the main citadel. The construction of castles in this way is called jōwari. The layout of the castle walls, called Ninomaru and Sanemaru, was centered around the center of the castle, called Honmaru, and there were many different types of layouts. Around these fortifications, gates, stone walls, and water moats are built to stop the enemy from invading. Since the surrounding terrain was used, some defensive structures incorporate natural features such as mountains and rivers. The stone walls surrounding the castles are also very deep. There are different methods of constructing stone walls, and as time went by, they became more elaborate and starry. The tallest castle is Osaka Castle, with stone walls over 30 meters high. The stone walls of Kumamoto Castle gradually became vertical, making it impossible to climb, and are known as the Mushagashi, or Return of the Warrior. The high stone walls are filled with water and a water moat below them, making it difficult to attack the castle. The water moat is beautiful. The castle is an architectural art of stone, water, and wood, representative of the Momoyama period. There is also a water moat around the current Imperial Palace, which was originally Edo Castle. They surround the castle calmly and quietly. Osaka Castle, Edo Castle, and Imabara Castle are probably the most famous example of water moats. There are many other castles with water moats along the castle. These castles were also equipped with turrets and gates from which the enemy could be quickly spotted from high above and attacked with bows and arrows or guns. Large gates were also necessary to hold off the enemy. Furthermore, the castle was built like a labyrinth to confuse the enemy when they entered. It seemed that the Japanese were fond of confusing and trapping their opponents in battle. There are various ways to attack such a castle with various devices, but the most common method seems to have been to encourage surrender by cutting off the supply chain network and trapping the enemy. The idea was to destroy the opponent's food and water supply routes. Indeed, a castle is a closed space, so there's no way to win if you are trapped inside. Toyotomi Hideyoshi was good at attacking castles. Takamatsu Castle, Totoro Castle, and Miki Castle were attacked and destroyed by flooding the area around the castle with water or cutting off the food supply chain, thereby discouraging the opponent's will to fight. Against such an attacker, the defending side takes by surprise and pincer attack. The castle attackers are caught off guard because they are pushing in with a large army. So, by conducting a surprise attack, they kill the opposing commander, or by informing on other allies, the attacker can leave the castle and pincer the attacker from within. In fact, since the force attacking the castle were on expedition, they could be defeated if their supply chain was cut off or if they were caught in a pincer movement by other forces. Thus, during the War State period, many battles were fought around the castles. The famous Battle of Chihaya Castle in the Nambokusho period is interesting. Kusunoki Masashige holding up in the castle he had reared in the mountains, fought the approaching army by dropping stones and boiling water on them, and he ran away from the castle, pretending he died. When the enemy thought they had won the battle and had restored the castle, Kusunoki Masashige came back and took it back, and continued to cage the castle even more. While they were making for time in this way, allies began to gather in various places, and eventually the situation was reversed, and the Kamakura shogunate fell. In addition, Tokugawa Ieyasu, who lost the impregnable Osaka Castle, made peace with the adversaries once, and then broke down the model of Osaka Castle. He then defeated Toyotomi Crown, who tried to repair it by making false accusations and repulsing them. Unlike battles in which armies crash on the plain, such as pretending to flee after losing a battle or pretending to make peace, in both battles the castle attack is a battle of information and psychological warfare, a battle in which the battle is a whirlwind of intrigue and intrigue. This is also what makes the battle so profound and interesting. Castles in Japan were also symbols of power, so they were lost when rulers changed. Castles were lost due to the one country, one castle rule, the abolition of castles rule, and air raids on the Japanese mainland. However, there was a movement to preserve castles due to their cultural, historical, and aesthetic value, and even today there are about 200 castles remaining in Japan. Furthermore, among them, there are 12 castle towers that have survived the ages. They are Osaka Castle, Matsumoto Castle, Maruoka Castle, Inuyama Castle, Hikone Castle, Himeji Castle, Matsue Castle, Bichu Matsuyama Castle, Marugama Castle, Iyo Matsuyama Castle, Uwajima Castle, and Kochi Castle. This means that the castle towers were built before the Edo period and have remained intact for hundreds of years. They are important cultural assets that convey the history and culture of Japan. Also registered as a World Heritage Site is Himeji Castle. It is also registered as a World Heritage Site and is known as Shirasagi-jo. On the other hand, the pitch black castle is Matsumoto Castle. This castle is also overwhelming to look at. In the 19th century, after a long period of national seclusion and peace, war came once again to Japan. At that time, cannons facing the sea were installed in castles. The US, England, and France are launching cannibal diplomacy. It was clear that the Edo shogunate, with its focus on agriculture and security, could no longer lead commerce, industry, and science and compete with the Western powers. The stage for history was set at Nijo Castle in Kyoto. It was here that the Edo shogunate enacted the Great Restoration, and Japan opened its borders to the world and pushed forward with modernization. History, however, is not as simple as it seems. Conflicts erupted between the shogunate and the new government. The final stage was Goryokaku in Hokkaido. This castle seen from above is a star-shaped castle. This was also the site on the last battle where the shogunate forces fell. Thus, castles have always been the stage for historical events. Such castles in Japan gradually lost their significance with the modernization of the Meiji era. With the end of the samurai government in the Edo period, the lore of the castle, a symbol of medieval Japan, also came to an end. Thus, the era ruled by the warlords, beginning with Oda Nobunaga and ending with the Tokugawas, came to an end, and Japan began its modernization process. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you very much for listening. My only hope for you is that this video helps you understand Japan well. I'll be back soon. Don't forget to subscribe. Goodbye.